Found out my girlfriend of 10 years cheated on me on the day my grandma died. I found out that my girlfriend of 10 years cheated on me with several people. I found out about it through a friend who found her profile on Tinder. I was at his place because I lost my grandma that day and I needed a friend first. He didn't want to show it to me on that day, but he came to the conclusion that I have to know it right now. It felt like my world collapsed and I had a breakdown. I waited for her in our apartment to confront her with a screenshot. First she denied everything, but then she admitted that she cheated on me with several different dudes over the last year because she needed the attention, and the last time she cheated was on my birthday. That's why she was running late for my party. OFC, I broke up with her. I packed some things and drove to my friend's house. But that's not even the worst. My best friend of 20 years called me a few days later and asked me if I want to grab a few cold ones, and OFC, I said yes, I really needed him, and besides that he was acting strange the last weeks and I wanted to ask him if everything is alright. Long story short, after some beer he told me that he is sleeping with my now ex for a few months now and he was the one she slept with on my birthday. Then he showed me some screenshots my ex sent him from at least 15 different. He started crying and said he is sorry and that he feels like so bad. I was frozen, like I had no idea what I should say now. I got angry and smashed a bottle on his wall. 3 minutes after I started screaming at him, my ex called him and he kicked me out because she needed him at the apartment. Now I am a 28-year-old depressed male who lives in his parents' basement and everything seems useless to me. Comment. Trashy girlfriend and friend mate. Be glad you weren't married to her. Cut them off from your life and focus on yourself. They showed their true colors. Don't make the mistake of trusting them again or letting them in your life. Get tested for STDs and expose her and your best friend to your friend group and her family. Wishing you the best, mate. Don't beat yourself over it, mate. You probably trusted her and your best friend like normal people would do. They're the ones who betrayed your trust and backstabbed you. Forget about them and move on with your life. Next time be a bit more attentive and aware of these signs of infidelity. Their relationship will not last, I guarantee you. Cheaters rarely stick together for the long haul because they don't trust each other. She'll probably cheat on him in the future or he will with her. Just work on yourself and move on. At least your friends have your back on the situation. Yeah man, your ex is a piece of work. Clearly, she is some form of narcissist that cares for no one but herself. But your old friend from 20 years turning his back on you, that's the one that really hurts. I'm sorry this happened to you. You are still a young man and can do whatever you want with your life. I suggest you start this next chapter with some therapy if you haven't already done so. Good luck, my friend. He wasn't your friend and she's a major slut. Look, as someone else said, call your sister, go have lunch with her, and take her a gift. She was truly looking out for you. That's the only reason your ex told you anything, because the traitor of a friend had to come clean, otherwise, they wouldn't have told you. Go to the gym more than once, it will get your mind off it for a bit. Try a new hobby, block both of them on everything. The fact is she never loved you. And he was never your friend, he's probably done that to other friends in the group. Stop feeling sorry for yourself. Feel sorry for them, she'll do the same to him. Imagine if you'd been married and had children with her, it would have been worse. It's good that you found out now. And on a side note, I'm sure the basement is decked out. There people who caught cheaters and had to stay in the same home because they had a lease together or had nowhere else to go. Seems to me you're doing fine. Count your blessings and don't give them the pleasure of you. Bring down, get up, and see that it's beautiful outside. Get out there. My deepest condolences. I can hardly fathom how you must have felt and how you still feel, but I feel I can relate to it on a lesser scale, as I was cheated on by my partner and my first childhood friend together. There isn't much I think I could even say about healing that hasn't already been said, but what I do hope you know is that it took strength and balls to stick to your guns and flat out break up on the spot. All too often PPL will find out their partner cheated/cheats and try to save the already fastly sinking ship out of belief/fear in a sunk cost fallacy. On you for not falling victim to it. What comes next is your choice and your choice alone. Forgiveness, hatred, hopefully eventually, letting go of these people, not letting them take up any more of your mind than they've already proven themselves unworthy of. Whatever you do, it is your decision and yours alone. Don't allow anyone to try and convince/force you to feel any other way. You didn't do anything wrong. You trusted them just as any loving person would, and both she and your former friend made the active and repeated decision to abuse that trust. The lesson isn't don't trust, it's simply, don't trust these MFs again. Hope you find some comfort in this rant. Be glad you got those trash people out of your life before you wasted any more time with either of them. Keep your head up, focus on yourself, health/exercise/consistent schedule/hobbies/etc. Forget about women for a while and rebuild your life and find happiness and confidence by yourself. Then you'll be ready to find a decent woman to date. You are not a loser. You're only 28. You have so much more life and experiences to live. You have a terrible GF and BFF, but you are not a terrible person. It hurts now, but with time, you will recover and come out on top. She's a whore and get checked for STDs. Make sure all your friends and family know what happened. Stick with those who always had your back. Your best friend isn't nor ever was a friend. He chose her over you, knowing she's been him, you, and other dudes. Build up yourself and do things you couldn't do when in a relationship. Go out with friends, take an adventure, have fun. Cry it out and then brush your shoulders off. Next story 2. My ex-wife had 3 affairs and was banned from 30 Walmarts for theft. The following is a true story. My ex-wife and I were married in the summer of 2013. We dated 2 years and then engaged 1. I was 30 and she was 25, I believe. I knew she wasn't right for me, but I was hurting from a bad breakup and she was fun. She was wild, outgoing, drank too much, went to clubs, did drugs, smoked, had lots of tattoos including a Fallout Boy demonic looking bat, etc. She said she gave up smoking and drugs for me. She was very chubby but had a pretty face, blonde hair. We both grew up and lived in Central Virginia. I lived in a college town and she lived in a small town nearby. Her family had a history of mental illness. Depression, suicide, anger, certifiable crazy, etc. Her grandpa and aunt both killed themselves unfortunately. Her mom was nuts, controlling and insane, and stole from the IRS too. Story for another time. Her mom owned a nice trailer park, it was actually pretty nice quality. Richer clients and all, mostly retired. And her dad lived next door on a farm. They were divorced but still neighbors, sick I know. She cheated on me several times but I always forgave her. BC the sex was good. I was a virgin at the time and she gave great BJs. I waited until marriage for real sex but ended up getting drunk and seduced while engaged. Some may call that I don't know. Anyways, once she told me she was going to a family vacation for 2 weeks to the Grand Canyon. Wrong. She went to jail for shoplifting. Worst part was she stole from Walmart and I worked there and could have gotten fired if they knew we were together. She begged me for another chance and like a fool I gave it to her. She cried and I gave in. We got married and were separated less than 6 months later. She had cheated several times including 3 different men. Pretended her one friend was gay, snuck out in the middle of the night, and went to another men's New Year's party with him while I worked. Her friends told me about the cheating later. She would constantly steal. Hide the dog food under the cart. Say it's their job to check it. I once told on her, said honey don't forget the dog food under there, and she got mad and yelled at me in the parking lot. She yelled at me for her stealing. SMH worst part was she got banned from Walmart for shoplifting too much. She dyed her hair red thinking no one would recognize her without her blonde hair. Wrong. It's a small town and you're still allowed big girl. Haha. Then we had to go to the next town over to go shopping, then she got banned from that one. Then the next. Finally she told me she was banned from 30 different Walmarts. This was before they shared a lot of information and photos. So she's been banned from most of them individually one by one. She told me this after we were married but by then I was stuck with her. Luckily I didn't work there anymore, I got a job at Wells Fargo call center a city over, but I was so embarrassed they all knew me. We finally separated but I was determined to do the right thing and save my marriage. I saw a text from a guy, she said he was just a friend and that they smoked together. Back to smoking it seems. He called her soulmate. Friends huh? We argued and she got mad. I went through her phone. 3 days later she moved in with him and they had a 1-year affair the entire separation. She was only separated for 3 days and already moved in with another man. Wow. A year later we get divorced. I'm doing much better. I graduated from community college, started my own photography business, was in great shape etc. Even met a nice girl but we took things slowly. Her and her soulmate broke up OFC. Then her next BF cheated on her, and her next etc. She now weighed close to 300 pounds. Her next BF hit her. And ended her dog unfortunately. I was very sad by this. He was a good dog and didn't deserve that, and for a little bit he was my dog too. But she said she wanted bad boys and boy did she get them. Karma. I don't condone what they did but dang, be careful what you wish for. Now my business is flourishing, my girl is nice and kind, and I bought a convertible and invested and made a lot of money on AMC a few years ago too. The best revenge is to be happy and successful. That's my story, hope you find it entertaining or it helps someone to learn from my mistakes. Be careful with whom you date and marry and you can't save them. Find someone better. Comment. Besides the million red flags you walked past, stories like this are why taking back a cheater usually doesn't work. The disrespect and lying tends to escalate. You actually found a bona fide train wreck like her appealing? Never mind the countless times you sacrificed your self-respect just to get laid? Geez dude. Hopefully you learned your lesson.